Hello again, everyone. Pastor Brad back with you. You'll recall that last week we took a look at all the prophecies of Jesus in the book of Isaiah. Well, it's not just in the book of Isaiah. This week, let's take a closer look as Jesus as the fulfilling Lamb of God from the Old Testament. More on this week's Zion Minute. Jesus is everywhere in the Old Testament. The first reference goes back to Genesis 3:15. When God says to the serpent, "He shall crush your head," he's talking about Jesus and his ultimate victory over Satan. There are more than 300 prophecies of Jesus in the Old Testament that were fulfilled, including one in Exodus 12. That's the Passover meal, where the Jews were instructed to sacrifice a lamb without blemish and smear its blood over their doorposts so the angel of death would pass over the house. Jesus, the Lamb of God, has fulfilled this, becoming the Lamb without blemish, sacrificed for us. And it is by his blood that we are forgiven and restored. He is the true Passover Lamb that was sacrificed as part of God's plan of redemption. The Old Testament tells us our need for Jesus and prophesies his coming to earth. The Gospels tell about Jesus' life on earth and give us his words. The epistles tell us how to live like Jesus. Revelation tells us about the return of Jesus. Beginning to end, front to back, Alpha to Omega, the Bible is all about Jesus. Next week, as we continue this series, we'll talk about Jesus as the redeeming Lamb of God. Until then, that's this week's Zion Minute.